This is pretty cool right here. I learned about it like this week on Reddit. It's called the Puckle gun. You ever hear this?
Okay. No.
So it can fire 2 ammunition types. You could fire round bullets for Christians, and you could fire square bullets for Muslims.
Okay.
They hurt more.
That seems like
They hurt more? The square bullets hurt more?
Well, Puckle thought they did, and he wanted to exact some pain on those folk. So he invented his own weapon here. You can see, and
wouldn't it just be way more inaccurate?
I'm sure, yeah.
So
You'd
what
want
the
a conical projectile spinning?
The Muslims are like pretending to be so afraid, like, please don't only use the square bullets that miss on us.
Puckle gun.
The curveball bullets.
There was a lot of that though, the using of different types of ammunition depending on your enemy. So if a war was going to be fought amongst whites in Europe, you would not use certain kinds of ammunition, but they would use sort of hollow point explosive ammunition when they went down to Africa, say, to fight the Zulu. It was a whole thing. It was a big discussion about the rules of war at the time.
It says that he could shoot 9 bullets a minute with the Puckle gun.
Hell yeah.
And that's like late 1600s. So was that like excellent at the time, I guess?
Yeah, for late 1600s. Yeah.
I say 9 a minute. I got 24 guns downstairs.
How's it
I can do better than that.
I didn't really even look at it very much. It looks like it's
early 1700s.
Okay, it's like a revolver. He's got a big revolver that's crank operated.
It looks like an old school
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, with like 9 bullets in it.
It looks like an old school Gatling gun. The picture I saw, where it's like on a stand.
Yeah, he's like a tripod mounted, very primitive Gatling gun with a large revolving cylinder on it. That's cool. But the idea of the square bullets for the Muslims tickled me.
What are do you know like any lesser known inventors of other guns, Kyle? It seems like the kind of thing you might like, interesting guns that didn't take off. Any fun facts in that region?
I like the special use guns, like the underwater guns and the space guns, because everything else is kind of very similar in its mechanisms and workings. There's that one electronically fired gun that was in Black Ops that has those rods that you
G12,
stuff in.
Maybe
something,
right?
Yeah, something like that.
G11's access.
That's kind of interesting because you've got like a powder charge and a bullet and a powder charge and a bullet stacked in these rods, and then you use electricity to ignite the powders that you want, so you can have kind of infinite rate of fire almost, because they
know who invented that?
No,
George Washington Carver.
God damn it, he's the man. What didn't he invent?
Some people say, oh, he wasn't even alive in 1965.
No, I think it was the Soviets that had the underwater weapon. It looks like a big nail gun. You know how a nail gun has that clip of nails underneath, sort of in front of your fist that you can see through the port? It had that, but long metal darts that were fired, I'm sure, by gunpowder. But underwater,
it's called the APS Underwater Rifles Act. You can bring
that thing's fucking sick to look at. And then the gyrojet is another famous one, which is the space pistol that has the bullets that have jets on the back of them, and you're basically just a pistol that shoots jet rocket bullets at people for space. I don't understand why that's required. A regular firearm should work perfectly in space, perfectly fine.
Yeah, I don't get the space thing. I get the water thing here.
Yeah,
because this was shooting 4.7-inch long steel rods that apparently could penetrate much better than spear guns.
That's a large casing, it looks like to me. That looks like 7.62 by 54 casings or something. So a big powder charge.
Yeah, it says it could shoot through a reinforced dry suit or a protective helmet or parts of breathing sets and harnesses and small underwater vehicles.
Does it say what the range is? Because like a traditional firearm, your range is probably 3 feet from the muzzle or something like that.
Very short. Or wait, this is saying underwater ordinary bullets are inaccurate and have short range.
You know what would
it just says
really
longer
well in
range?
space? A silencer.
Why?
Because there's no sound in space.
It would work great. You could really have a nice boondoggle there with some government contract. It's a loud, looks like a blunderbuss, and it's still.
You
Kyle, you're 98 feet at a depth of 16 feet underwater. It would shoot effectively at up to 98 feet.
That's a crazy range for underwater. Yeah, and he'd be like letting you have it You know, like he wouldn't be firing one and hoping he sniped you. You know, he'd be up. That'd be terrifying to fight.
Horrible way to die.
What did you say the range was?
98 feet at a depth of 16 feet underwater.
I wonder what the effective range was, right? Like I've seen regular guns shoot underwater, and they're really fast for like 3 feet, and then at 5, I feel like I could stop it with my skin.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder what.
I mean,
where did the deadly stop?
I don't know. I mean, it's made specifically for that, so I bet they're
pretty far.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of projectile, that long, heavy, lower velocity projectile is what's going to do it. It's gonna keep its speed and go through you. That and those rape dolphins we trained, we trained sea lions and dolphins to kill divers. And that to me is I want that declassified. I want that movie. I want to hear about the James Bond of bottlenose dolphins who like won the Cold War, and we don't even know about it. Like they would send those dolphins. They would have them guarding ports, like naval ports, so that the enemy doesn't send some frogman in to plant C4 on your $1 trillion boat. We've got fucking dolphins down there ready to kill. That's pretty cool. They're trained to drown. They're not trained to like, okay, we trained a dolphin to attack. No, we trained a dolphin to fight. Like it will come and pull your breathing apparatus off your mouth and push you down. Sea lions, we train to do that too.
Hopefully we're still, I bet the Pentagon's funding that still.
God, I hope so. I hope Donald doesn't defund that, because that's those dollars that's where I want my dollars to go. To the
I want to fund the zoological warfare division of the Pentagon.
No more cancer.
Can you imagine their badges? It's like a sea lion and a dolphin like crossed across, and they're both like,
yeah. Sorry, Mozambikis, no condoms, but we have the most ferocious bottlenose dolphins on planet Earth.
Yeah, that's the kind of shit I really like. I like the idea that we've got this $1 trillion war machine, and we do some cool stuff with all that extra monies that we just print. I like the whole. There was this program. It's what led to that Manson shit. What's the secret program they did on Manson with the LSD and everything? The CIA. What's it called?
Oh my god.
MKUltra. So the reason MKUltra got its funding is because we found out the Soviets had a similar program, and the funding of that similar program, we had spies that found out how much money they were spending on their astral projection or whatever program. People finding things with their mind across the planet, remote viewing. And the idea of that, of course, is to find where the Soviet nukes are. If you can have a guy in a room in America and he can think really hard and tell you there are nukes, here, here, and here, and you can early strike those, that's what they were trying to do. And the Soviets one year spent like 50 million rubles on it to see if it would work. And then we found out the next year they spent 300 million rubles. And we were like, oh shit. They found something that works. Like they've got something they figured out, and they're like, they're in for a penny and for a pound now. Like we got to get our program cooking. And that's where MKUltra and a lot of those other like programs came from, using the LSD and hypnotism, electroshock, and a bunch of other experimental mind altering programs to sort of, fuck with people. I'm sure there were many branches of it. It's the idea is that what they were doing to Manson involved like a Manchurian Candidate type brainwash, where you would have an assassin who doesn't know he's an assassin. So you couldn't even torture anything out of him. He doesn't know it because you've created a segmented version of him, like on his hard drive.
Code word Ronald McDonald, and then boom.
Yeah, like Winter Soldier
assassinating some Soviet leader.
Yeah, that was the premise of Winter Soldier, which is one of the very few good Marvel movies where the guy's got a whole code phrase that if you read exactly what he like fucking goes into murder mode and he'll do whatever you want.
Have you seen The Family Guy where they make fun of that? Where like Meg is a secret soldier and they're trying to figure out her code phrase, and the handler is like, it's something that no one would ever say to ensure no slip ups.
I love you.
Peter gets the piece of paper and he's like, gee, that Italian family at the next table sure is quiet. And that was what the senator was killing.
I don't think it was an Italian family when they wrote the bit at first, though, was it?
What made it to TV was the Italian family, but who's to say? Who's to
course.
say? Maybe they
course.
workshopped a little movie theater reference in there or something.
That's because the Italian people are known for their resiliency, their sense of humor,
and their volume.
And their volume. They're loud people.
Yeah. Talking with their hands, very loud.
They're also
Excellent
criminals.
food.
A lot of them are
Excellent
criminals.
food. Well, the chefs, the food outdoes the criminality.
I think so. Yeah, that's one thing.